The session is now being recorded. Hello, everyone. It's Aaron Smith here from Microsoft. I'm the UK's Dyslexia and SEND consultant. As I said, these sessions will be recorded, and we're now on our last but one session of the week. So Microsoft Dyslexia and, of course, writing. And when we look at writing and the concept of writing, if we remember from our Monday session that we talked about the difficulties that some dyslexics face when it comes to writing. Now, of course, we have got this concept here that I am going to be doing some demoing. So what I want to do is I just want to allow you all to have access to the captions while I'm working. Of course, captions is available on Teams. It's also available on my PowerPoint. But I'm just going to put on PowerPoint Live, which allows you to have captions directly to your device. So you just wait for 30 seconds, and up will come a QR code. If you click on that, highlight it, and then you'll be able to use it. So if you want to scan the QR code for me, please, it'd be really appreciated. This is only available for those that are not watching the recording. This is for the live people, not for people watching the recording. That's brilliant. A few of you are doing it. That's most appreciated. Just going to drop it into the chat box, of course. So that's fine. We're going to move on. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. So as we spoke about before, we talked about a lot of things. And actually, when we look at dyslexia, we talk about a lot of things when it comes to writing. So writing is a kind of an interesting concept. There's lots of concepts here about writing and writing on the web, writing in ideas. And it is really apparent that actually there is so many things available for us from looking at things like this, and it is really powerful. So what we're just going to do is rather than just go through the presentation, I'm actually just going to demo everything for you and talk about the concepts of writing, where they are available, and looking at it for many things. So I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to bring in my other web page, and then we're going to talk about it. So of course we talked a lot about Microsoft 365 previously and all the features that are available for us. But also what we're going to look at today, of course, is writing. We're going to open that Word document I had before. We did all about reading on Tuesday, and we had a number of you come in yesterday to talk to me about things. But what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about how we would use things and how we would use this to support learners when it comes to writing. And of course, we have the button called Dictate. Now, dictation is a really interesting button. Now, for starters, the dictation button is available for you if you are on Microsoft 365. And what we can do here is we click the button here, and of course, whatever I start saying is going to appear on the screen. Full stop, new line. Stop dictation. Stop dictating. Now, of course, you've got to get the right terminology there. Now, this is the control panel. I'm going to put the control panel here so you can see it a bit better. Now, the benefit of this is that we have a number of things you can have access to. For starters, you have your settings. So the settings menu kind of picks the language you are speaking in. Now, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 languages there that allow you to have access to it. So 9 languages that allow us to have speak in automatically, and it will then translate it. Of course, we're going to use UK English. We also then have got a lot of languages here, probably about another 15 languages that are what they call in preview. So basically they will work. They're not 100% accurate, but they are available. So what happens here as well is we have got then which microphone. So we're going to use this microphone. I could do on this one because I have got an external microphone on this device. This is an Olympus one here. As you can see, that has appeared here, and that's it there. So if I'm using this one, it's a little bit controlled, and if you can see that it's farther away from me, it doesn't pick it up. But if I put it really close, it does work. So again, that's a very useful thing to know, that you can control that microphone, and that useful thing there. You can also turn auto punctuation on, and of course my favorite feature is the profanity filter. If you are going to swear, turn this off and it will spell it. If you swear on here, it will star it out. Now I'm just going to use dictation, how I teach people to dictate and how we would do it. So I'm just going to press enter a few times to make some space, and I'm going to use the dictation button. But before I do that, I want to show you this button here, which is the help button. In the help section, you have all the features of what you can use dictation for. So things like the punctuation and symbols, making corrections, formatting the document, creating lists, moving your cursor around. That's quite a new one. That's quite a new feature there where you can move the cursor around. You can add comments in. That's quite cool. And of course, you can say show help, pause dictation, exit dictation. So a number of amazing things there. You can't start the dictation, unfortunately, yet from your voice, but it is useful. So let's start the dictation by pressing the button here. I'm now going to tell you how, delete how, about my dictation tips, full stop, new line, backspace, new paragraph, bold, my dictation tips, full stop, new line, start list, bold, think before you speak, new line, speak clearly and fluently, new line, use a microphone array, comma, USB or Bluetooth microphone for accessibility. Delete accessibility. Delete accessing. Accuracy. Exclamation mark. Exit dictation. So you can see there very quickly, I've used dictation, I have told it to do things, I've wrote my list. Because I let someone into the call, it did chuck me out, which is fine, which is not an issue. But you can see there I started it back again, and then I was very much there how to use it. Dictation is always found on the home tab, and as it's in office.com, it is a free tool. Now if we're looking at Word desktop, just to mention it, because a lot of you will ask me that question, I'm going to mention it now. Word desktop does also have that feature as well. So I'm just going to bring in a new document so you can see it. So, oh, wrong document. So there's my new document here. So again, you see the dictation button is there, and it is exactly the same dictation. So it is exactly the same tool. It's using the same functionality. I've got my settings and I've got my help as well. Now, the only caveat to this is this feature needs to have a Microsoft subscription connected to it. Don't need to pay for it. You just need to have that subscription. So in the concept there, you can have it when you have a Microsoft license. So either A3 or A5, the licenses you have to have that feature for it to work, for desktop to work. So the other tool on Microsoft 365 around writing is another cool tool, which is this one, which is called Translate. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do a new translation here. So I have got one on here, but I'm going to do a new one. So I'm going to make a new translation, yes, and I'm going to upload an audio file. And what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go into that folder. I'm going to go into my documents folder, and I'm going to look for an audio file that I've got, which I'm hoping is in sound recordings, and I'm going to pick this one called Amelia. Now what's going to happen is this is going to upload the recording, it's going to listen to that recording, and this is a conversation with me and my daughter, and hopefully you'll be able to hear the conversation in a second. So just now it's doing something called transcribing. You can do it live from a microphone, but this is creating that file and uploading it and putting it into a file on my actual OneDrive, so it is stored quite safely, and it is a really powerful tool. Just taking a few minutes more than I wanted to do, of course, because I am demoing. There we go, we're at 98%, which is always good. And there's my transcription. So that is listened to that audio and made a transcription. It knows there is two speakers because it's got speaker, speaker, speaker one. So let's now play it. Hello, what's your name?
Amelia.
And what did you do at school today?
I learned about Christopher Columbus.
And what did Christopher Columbus do?
He sailed all around the world and thought that he went to Chinese, but he went the wrong way.
Okay. Thank you very much, Amelia. So you can see there that you can see that's very powerful. It is to actually allow people to do it. So that's a really powerful, useful tool there that actually allows us to transcribe. But of course, we can do some other things. So what we can do is first we can change this so we know this speaker was me. So ARRIN, and we're going to change all of them to me. We know the speaker was Amelia because we know who the other person was, AMELIA, and we're going to change all the speaker 2 to that. We can alter some of them as well, so we know that was Amelia. But what we can also do now is we can add this to our document. I'm just going to do this. I can add either just the text. So there's all the text. There I was so stressed about things, about the concept of the changes of getting from one computer to another for it works. And I was waiting for my wife to bring me a cup of tea in for me so I don't kind of get too breathy. And she brought it in the middle of it all. I never knew she did it. So I do apologize there. So I can now talk a bit better. So thank you very much for that. So as you can see there, I've put it all in. I've put that in there. I could also go in and put the timestamps in. With the timestamps in, I could also put in there with the names in as well. So you could automatically use that really powerfully with our learners, which is again a really powerful tool. Now what I'm also going to do now is I'm just going to copy this text here. Actually, I'm not going to copy it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new document on Word Online, and I'm going to just dictate that sentence. So I'm going to do that now and show you some other features, which is called Editor. The study of Earth landforms is called physical geography. Full stop. Landforms are called mountains and valleys. They can also be glaciers and rivers. Full stop. Sometimes they are found in other parts of the world and they are very beneficial. So this is a really useful tool there, and you can see that it's all working very well. Full stop, new line. Now I've done that just to kind of create some text here. Let's just make this a bit bigger so we can see it. And we've got here the button called Editor. Now what Editor will do is it will start looking for things like consistency, grammar, if I spelt the word wrong. So it's got here a consistency error. So it's also got a grammar error. So that's my grammar error. Let's have a look at the consistency concept. So this is looking at consistency. If I put in some really horrible phrases, it will question my my vocabulary, my inclusivity. Again, also once I get over 100 words, we only did 55 words there. When we get over 100 words, it will then calculate an editing score of how well we've done. So again, it's another tool you can use, which is a bit bigger than the concept of dictation and the concept of spell check. So again, when we're writing, this concept here about spelling and decoding is again really beneficial for our learners. Now I want to show you now two other features that are actually on the Windows desktop. So I'm just going to minimize this and just minimize this a second because I want to get to my desktop. So I'm going to just do it on a different screen I am. So if you bear with me 30 seconds, I'm going to swap screens over. So I'm just going to do that now. So here I am on the Windows desktop. Now, one thing I want to talk about is I'm just going to open a notepad up. So NOT notepad. It's got a bit big. I do apologize. There we go. Let's make that so it's smaller. So it's now on the screen. So there's my notepad on the screen there that you can see. Now I'm going to click here and I'm going to press the Windows key on my keyboard and H. And now what is going to appear is a dictation button. Now, as you can see, full stop, new line, you can see that a few things are appearing on my screen. Now, I'm not sure if this is working 100% correctly, but what it is doing is it is giving me an idea of how to use dictation and support with if I don't have other things going on. So you can see there that that is working. Let's put that onto there. So you can see that that dictation tool there is really powerful. That's a Windows and H tool. So again, we have dictation built into Windows 10 and also into Windows 11 as well. So again, this is a really powerful tool for me that can really use this kind of cool tool, which is using Windows and H. Now, the other thing that we can do is if I start typing, nothing is happening on there. If I just open up Word again, I've just realized I've opened up cancel, close that. So if I just now go into Word Desktop, so I'm just going to go into Word Desktop here. Just going to bring that in. Now if I start typing HELLO, can you see that comes up there? So HELL, hello, how, HO, hope you are having a good time at the moment. Can you see there? That's very clever there. This little tool here is coming up, which is called text suggestions. So text suggestions is a tool that's been built into Windows 10. You can find this by pressing the Windows and I button, and it brings up the settings icon, and this is in text TE. It's in typing settings, TYP. Typing settings is there. So let's just go to typing settings, and it's called hardware keyboard. So it's a hardware keyboard concept. So that's a really powerful tool as well. The other feature that is also really interesting, that if you do have a touch device, which I'm on here, and you can actually have your keyboard coming up here, and you can have the keyboard here that allows you to have things. So if I start typing in here, so HE, hello, how, you going out to dinner tomorrow, you can kind of start making things up. I've just started typing. I've got the dictation button there that I can use as well, so I can press that, and it's now going to run the dictation app. So again, you see it's a really powerful tool, and that is what we call the on-screen touch keyboard, and that's really useful. Now in Windows 11, this is even more advanced. It's got a few more features as well as a few other things. So again, it's a really powerful tool then when it comes to reading. Now, dictation is in many products. Dictation is in things like Word Online, it's in Word Desktop, it's in Outlook Desktop. It's not in as many places as we'd want it at the moment, but it's still growing there because that's really powerful for a number of our learners. So for me, when we're writing, it's really powerful. One other feature here that I also would want to show you is basically when you're in Word Desktop, a feature that I quite like is this, it's BECA. SE. So if you do have like that concept that you're having difficulty spelling, when you press the right mouse button, this comes up, because what I was told when I was at school, always use the spell check. I can't read the spell check. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this button and press read aloud.
Thanks.
I've just realized that you actually may not be able to hear that. Let's just make sure you can hear it. I turn the sound on. So here I have it here. So let's just go into here, press that right mouse button again, press this button here, press read aloud.
Base, similar to, dishonorable, headquarters, bottom.
So that's quite interesting, that is, because that is base, headquarters, bottom. No, that's not the word I'm looking for. Let's read this one.
Base, no reference information.
So it's telling me there's no references, but beers is not the word I'm looking for.
Because, similar to, since, as, for.
And that's the word I was looking for. So again, a really useful tool for our learners to use when it comes to kind of spelling, because spell check actually is another tool when it comes to writing that we need to think about. So again, a really powerful tool for our learners to use it, and very beneficial for us. So they are the 4 things that I wanted to talk about today about writing and how we can use writing tools that are built into Microsoft 365 to support with writing. And of course, again, just to finish off, we still have that editor feature also in the desktop version as well that does the scoring as well to support with our learners. So many features built into Microsoft that allows you to do things around accessibility, and dictation is one of them. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now. And someone has just reminded me of a question that I said And I'm just going to do that because they're not now on the screen. So just remind you that you asked me to remind you about the discussion about our immersive reader in Windows 11. So Windows 11 has actually got a few changes. The big thing that's changed in Windows 11 is around dictation. So the dictation bar is now using the same dictation I've just showed you. So you've seen the dictation around the area around how you can change things like your font size and so forth, like I said, but also what it is that you can actually do lots of things with it. So that is what's coming to Windows 11. Also in Windows 11 we've changed some of the terminology. It's not ease of access, it's actually called accessibility. That's the word that was in my head. So they're the two things I wanted to mention about Windows 11. I thought I kind of did that in the session, but it's good. Thank you, reminding me there, that person. So do put your questions in that question box if you want to ask me a question about anything to do with dictation. As always, I said previously that you can always get hold of me if you want to. I'm just going to put on the screen my email address, so you can always get hold of me that way. This service is available between now and the end of June 2022, where you can get hold of me. I'm happy to support your school in any ways related to accessibility or any ways that you want to do around different ways of learning and supporting using technology, and in particular Microsoft technology. It's a Microsoft service that Microsoft offer, so it is free for any school. So just drop me an email, happy to do it. Follow me on Twitter and so forth. So if anyone wants to just put a message in the chat box, happy to take any questions. We've got a few minutes left. As I said, I'll be happy to go over a little bit because we did start a little bit late. So just see if anyone else is going to put any questions in the question box. So what I can't do that at the moment because I don't have a device with Windows 11 on yet. So I have a demo device that has Windows 11 on, and at the moment that device is in what they call insider mode, which we're not meant to show yet. But what we will do is, as soon as I have a working version of Windows 11, I would look at it. If you're curious, I will actually show you this, and let me show you this. I can show you what's online from the Microsoft website. If you give me 30 seconds, I will open up a web page to show you. So microsoft.com. It is available to see. It's an amazing thing. If I go to Windows, and you'll see it now. So this is Windows 11. It is a lot simpler. It's got this now. You're doing the kind of that's what I'm showing. You've got now the centered bar. You've got an ease of access center in here, better known as accessibility. It's a lot more simple, a lot more cleaner than current Windows. It's really I've been testing it for a little while on my demo device, like I said, but it's still an insider version. So as soon as the live version I've got on a computer, I will do a video. So do check out my YouTube and also my Twitter feed. So someone's just asked me as well, don't worry about being late, that's fine. So we will send the recordings out probably on Monday of next week. So if you're watching the recording on YouTube, of course you will have already got it, you will see them, but you will get the recording of this session. What is, I have to just block out a little area because all of the names are down here. Well, they were down here, but they're not now, so I need to just do that so it's not showing them. So quick look at there of Windows 11. It's really useful for some learners. It's got some new features around snapping, which is quite powerful as well. So again, if you have any more questions, we've got probably about a minute and a half left. So do drop any questions on the question. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to say that there's no more questions coming in. So thank you very much for listening to me. Come back tomorrow for our final session on reading progress, brand new feature that was only launched this year in 2020. 2021. It only came to, it was 100% rolled out in September, so do check that out tomorrow. It's called Reading Progress. Look on the link and you'll find out more. So I want to bring this to a close and say thank you very much, everyone, for getting involved. Take care. Speak to you soon.